Welcome, weebs, to this week's episode of Kanpai Cast. Shit, I fucked it up. Right, this week we are talking about entering our tournament arc. Well, just tournament arcs in general. This is the title of it, entering our tournament arc. But first of all, we're going to do some housekeeping. So, don't forget to join the Discord for regular chats, memes, and good old anime vibe. Link in the description. You can also submit your own memes that will actually appear on the show, and we will rate them.
We feature up to 6 every week, don't we?
Yes, we shall. The next piece is last time we told you about some back-end changes we made to do with the genre sorting and stuff. Like, this is why we were seeing like random stuff with Gundam Wing being classified as an isekai for some reason. But we've got more. So when we list the genres on screen, they end up taking a lot of room, especially with so many genres. So we're thinking of changing those into symbols instead, and then hosting an explanation on the main Kanpai Cast website. We will go over them for the first several times, but the idea is that we're going to make them as intuitive as possible, like the symbol of a planet with a ring around it being the symbolism for sci-fi, or
maybe with the Star Trek thing.
Yeah, that's going to get copyright problems.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, so, but if you want to get involved, join the Discord.
You could put some little goggles on it and make it Among Us. Now you're never going to be able to look at that symbol again.
So, if you want to get involved, join the Discord, where we will actually be polling the actual symbols and getting your feedback to determine whether or not it's good enough for the actual job itself. So, Yep, exactly. Right, so that is it for the housekeeping. It is now... Oh, wait. Do we want to tell them yet? Oh, I don't know.
I just realized somehow my audio was muted in OBS.
Maybe... Yeah, let's wait till next week. Yeah, we got some news. We'll wait though.
Other stuff.
We've got some others. Anyway, right, so we're going to move on to the main topic for this week, which is tournament arcs, and this is actually Thaylien's topic. Do you want to lead this?
Well, yeah, kind of.
Go on.
I didn't really need to put too much into this because tournament arcs are fairly
Not very
emblematic.
much to put into it.
There's literally seem to be anything from a fallback for a show that's having trouble, all the way through to just a side piece to whatever the main action's doing. Right? Some people mention tournaments as an actual way of building tension and showing the power and development of a character, while others just kind of like have people show up and pretend they're actually involved while the main character stomps everything.
Oh.
It can be either. We have seen quite a few shows with some really drawn out and Dragon Ball Z style tournament arcs, where they can, most of the good tournaments of Dragon Ball were in the original Dragon Ball, I feel. And then you'll have the really esoteric ones like Food Wars. But then there's others that are key to the entire plot, like many of the sports ones. Haikyuu, for example, or something more sci-fi like Asterisk War. The actual tournament arc is key to the whole development of how it's going. And you can't get away from it in the actual shonen battlers like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
So we all know what a tournament is. We all know what tournament arcs can be used for. But why?
I would disagree.
Where?
Do
And
we
how?
know what a tournament is? Do we actually know what defines a tournament? Does it have to have brackets, or can it be a free for all? Can it be a battle royale type of thing? So do we actually know
Sometimes.
what a tournament is?
Okay. I think first simple question here, right? To an agreement, so first off, all of this is completely subjective, right? This is our opinions. If you don't agree with it, we get it. You know, it's not the end of the world.
Webster's dictionary defines tournament as.
But my question to you two, and I'll voice my opinion first. Do you think that battle royales count towards a tournament? I do not. Right? I think battle royales are just for mass culling. Right?
Yeah.
Because eventually it's going to come down to just a few players anyway.
Yeah. I agree. A battle royale is more a setting than a tournament.
It's like wow, I can't believe I'm going to say this. It's like Monopoly, right? No matter what, it always comes down to two people. Right? I'm not wrong, right? It always happens. No matter, you're playing Monopoly.
A bunch of people who are no longer friends anymore.
Exactly, right? You know, people giving up the will to live watching this fucking match between just two people.
But functionally, right? Is that any different than a tournament that has, like, 20 brackets to start with, and then they mostly just skip over the vast majority of them and just focus on the ones you care about? Because that's still just a mass culling.
But no, I do think it is, because it's a case of you don't get to decide who your opponent is. You have to fight person A.
You don't always get to decide your opponent in a battle royale either.
No, you can decide to flee, right?
Yes.
You have the opportunity to leave. But if you leave in a tournament, you're disqualified. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Let's put this down to a thing. Tournament, not so much as a definition.
Yeah.
But a tournament in an anime, to be a tournament, I would say has to be an event, a hosted event, where there is an audience and where there are rules when you enter the arena.
Yeah.
Usually between one or two people or small groups, and there's usually specific circumstances where you can win and everything else where you can lose.
That still covers the battle royale.
Yes. No, it doesn't.
Yes,
No, it doesn't. Because there is, on a battle royale situation, there is often no audience except.
You didn't say. No. Often doesn't mean always. So it could be a battle royale.
It could be. But an officially hosted battle royale is part of a tournament. Okay? But a battle royale setting is not the same as a tournament setting.
God. Oh my God.
I mean, like,
that is some serious semantical bullshit.
I mean, like,
yeah, but that's what I live on, don't you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think one big thing is that, to me personally, right, regardless of semantics, why is that the wrong one? Sorry, the crap that the wrong logo has appeared on the thing, and that's completely thrown me for a loop. Shit, what was I gonna say?
Semantics, tournament arcs.
Oh no! Sorry. Yes, but the fact that you can have like tournaments where you got multiple players at the same time is so much more palpable to like my palate and things like this.
Palatable? Okay, yeah.
Sorry, yes, palatable. Yeah,
palpable is good because it's something you can feel.
Yeah. Okay. So, whatever. Right. The whole point is that multiple. When it's team-based tournaments, I'm down for that. But the majority of the time, when it's one-on-one, it's boring as fuck.
Yeah, you can say that. So it's an interesting one because
I can tell you why.
I've seen a few tournaments that start off with a battle royale, then move on to more brackets later. But no, why did you ask, Nasuth?
So, in Dragon Ball Super, the actual final arc is the Universe Survival arc, right? There are actually two tournaments that you see in Dragon Ball Super. One of them is between just Universe 6 and 7. I love this scene. This is actually during the Universe Survival arc. And it's couched as a tournament. It's in a tournament setting. All the universe people are watching. what's happening, and there are separate teams. So there are teams from each universe with like.
But it's played as like a battle royale team.
But it is a battle royale. Yes, between the teams, it is a battle royale, and I still think it counts as a tournament arc. I really do, even though it's basically a battle royale all the way up until the end.
Yes, it is basically a battle royale, but it's hosted as a tournament. So,
and there are still brackets and eliminations. If each team gets eliminated, that's it.
Yes.
Well, I shouldn't say there are brackets, but there are eliminations.
So, I think that's the key difference is that a tournament can have a battle royale, but an actual battle royale anime doesn't always count as a tournament.
Wait. Here's a question for you. In Dragon Ball Super, because I haven't seen Super, right? Were people actually dying in this tournament?
No, in fact, death is off the table.
No. Yeah, they
can be taken right
to the point of death, or they can be thrown out of the ring. There's no flying, so they can't escape that way. They can only find other means to escape.
So this is the difference between a battle royale setting and a battle royale in a tournament, I would think, because there are rules about what happens when you lose, whereas in a battle royale setting, most often you're killed for when you lose.
Right.
I suppose I should say maybe I should say free for all more than battle royale.
Yeah.
Because like the big thing is even with some of the more famous Western style battle royales that are basically tournaments because they're televised and so on and so forth. I used to say the name, but the big thing is like that people were still dying. Right, it was only until one person came out of it, right, that it was declared that anyone was the winner. And if it's just a case of like there's no difference between death, submission, or unconsciousness, then it's not a battle royale.
Well, free for all.
Free for all is fair. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good way.
But isn't there teams in this?
Yeah. There are, but it's a free-for-all, but like all the teams are active all at once.
Any fighter can take on any fighter, even their own, if they wanted to, but
okay.
They don't.
Yeah.
Still.
Right. What was the rest of your point with this, Nasuth?
No, that was really it. That was just why I asked about if free-for-alls count.
Okay.
Because I think that this one is a good example of one that does.
Yeah. So I want to
and one of the few
times I want to go
Dragon Ball are all fighting at once and not just one at a fucking time.
Yeah. So I want to go on to where the different uses of a tournament arc.
Okay.
See, I haven't seen a show like Haikyuu. I don't typically go in for sports anime at all. Right? But you can tell, or I have seen like Tekken Bloodline, where that's an actual hosted tournament. Even if the people can die or be defeated in that way. The whole thing about it is that there are the rules of the tournament dictate a lot of the tension of the show, and the pacing and things is built on going through the tournament. Whereas others, like say the irregular at Magic High School, the tournament itself is more of an excuse to show the characters and introduce concepts into the world and give you a little bit of a hero moment at the end. So it's an odd one that I do actually like, that I wanted to talk about, is the tournament arc from Fairy Tail.
Okay.
And Fairy Tail is a divisive anime. It's kind of on the shonen lines. People either love it or genuinely indifferent to it. They just didn't watch it. And the tournament arc in Fairy Tail is used specifically for a series of hero moments. Right? The entire main cast of Fairy Tail have been trapped onto an island where they are unable to experience the outside world or even the same kind of time as everyone else. And while they're away, all of the other major guilds have basically won every single one of these magic tournaments for years. Fairy Tail has become a bit of a laughing stock because none of its actual heavy hitters were there, and they've been driven down. And it's made clear at the start of this season that Fairy Tail are on the ropes as far as guilds of magic go. Then the main cast return, and the very first thing you see, I believe, is a team-based combat match where they have to, defeat your opponents in order to progress. And in that, all that happens is Natsu, right here, walks out, hooded and menacing, out onto the arena. And as he's announcers fighting for Fairy Tail, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, they're just gonna steamroll this guy." And his power sets the entire arena on fire and basically melts his opponents before the gong even sounds to start the match. He's won before they even start. It's one of these things just purely to show the power of the returning cast. But at the same time, it's done a little bit, in that absolutely, screw it. We're reintroducing powerful characters. They need these hero moments. Urza here has hers, where there's a gigantic arena cube that has 100 monsters in it. And it will have certain monsters are worth 1 point, certain are worth 2, 5, 10, and there is one monster worth 100. Okay, so what you do is you have to tactically think that I'm going to say, declare you're going to take on 10 monsters, and you have a chance of fighting 10 1-point ones and getting 10 points. But there's also that 1 in 100 chance, or 1 in 10 chance now, that you could get the 100-point monster and be defeated yourself. So it's a tactical thing, and the longer the fighters go on without having faced the high-level monsters, the more likely you're going to get it. Okay? So there's a risk-reward thing of going in your position. Urza Scarlet steps up and says, "I want to fight 100 monsters." Takes them all on at once and wins. So she gets all of the points, nobody else gets any. And it is done purely for this: stomp the opponents into the ground, show off the main characters, and actually just have a grand old time romping through the powerful characters doing powerful things. Which serves a purpose in and of itself, but makes a mockery of the whole tournament arc thing. And I for one, love this idea. Hey, what's your take on it based on how I've described it?
Wow, spoilers, man. No. I don't know. I mean, it just kind of sounds pretty standard to me. Which I suppose isn't the worst thing.
So I've seen the arc that Thaylien's talking about, and back when I first watched it, God knows when ago. So what's the year on that? 2009. So when I watched it, probably about 2010, 2011. I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. Right? I thought it was fucking fantastic. But now that I've seen so many more tournament-based shows, there are certain tropes that, are just irrefutable, right? It's things like, no matter what, either the hero will get to the end of the tournament, or at least the hero team will get to the end of the tournament. Someone is going to have a cataclysmic loss within the team, be it the main hero or, it depends on where it is in the narrative. right? Things like, it would be dumb if Ash Ketchum actually won his first ever, Pokemon League because he's basically a first timer, but he came fucking close, right?
It's interesting how in the main manga, Red did win.
Yeah, right. And but I think the main manga is like a lot shorter though than the but that's neither here nor there. But the whole point is that a lot of these tournaments is just like you can kind of tell where the thing is going to go, because if they lose too early, right, what's the direction of the show afterwards, right? There's one show that I think did a tournament arc absolutely fantastically, right? And that is Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Because 2 episodes in...
Keijo.
No. 2 episodes into the tournament arc with Jujutsu Kaisen, the tournament gets cancelled and they're being attacked, right? And to me, that is like the best way to do a tournament arc. Because even like, I remember I watched the first season of My Hero Academia and I thought it was bloody brilliant. I thought the first season was incredible. I then watched the second season and I thought it was utter trite because of just how long the tournament is. And this is part of the problem I have with a lot of these tournament shows, is the fact that the tournaments themselves are drawn out by having 1-to-1 matches. Like,
well, not only that, but usually they then you also get reaction shots of, the friends or the crowd, and they just stretch it out even for every single action. Everyone's got to react to it, and it's like, what? No, just do the action.
Which is why I think the original Dragon Ball tournament arc was quite good. Their tournament arcs in general, because they were all about pushing the boundaries and teaching the characters lessons. So the people reacting were generally the people in the ring, not always the ones outside of it. You were actually doing things from the character's perspective. So their very first one, where Master Roshi decided that he was going to become Jackie Chun again for his, to teach them a lesson of humility. In that one, you actually had that follow through. Goku and Krillin climbing the ranks, being powerful, but then getting into a match with Jackie Chun, and he uses actual martial arts, like including finishing off the fight by launching into a double hit attack, so he gets hit while hitting deeper than Goku can hit. And so he actually, hurts Goku more, puts him down, while the others don't. Well, it doesn't get the same damage himself. And of course, doing things like this. Can't fall out the ring if you can stab your foot into the side of the ring and hover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you move on to Dragon Ball Z, and suddenly everything is a hidden tournament arc in Dragon Ball Z. Dino and I kind of talked about this a little bit. Like, everything.
I'll go with you on that one.
And it ends up, I mean, the Frieza saga up until Goku gets there is probably some of the most interesting stuff, because it is kind of just, it's teams.
It was supposed to be the end of the season.
And
it was supposed to be the end of the story, but it was a lot more interesting than the rest was.
But then you get into the actual fight, and then the Cell games, and then the Buu saga, and it really is just glorified tournament arcs where all the other players get knocked out really early, and then it's just Goku or Gohan and Vegeta and the bad guy, and everyone reacting to
Gonna give props to Cell Saga though, because Cell Saga did in fact.
Yeah.
It's because they let Mr. Satan go in first and get slapped out the ring, and that was it. Everybody else was just like, yeah, no, I brought towels and water bottles. I'm fine, sitting on the sidelines. Krillin's got the senzu beans. That's it. Everybody else was just there to watch Goku fight Cell, and even Goku wasn't really there to watch Goku fight Cell. And that whole thing, I props to them. They just skipped the whole tournament part of the Cell Games tournament arc. It just went into a straight fight.
You see, I argue that they didn't go into a straight fight because you still had the entire crowd of Piccolo, Yamcha, Tien, Vegeta. They're all just on the sidelines, just watching, and like, okay, so Goku's had his turn. Gohan, you tag in now. So what do you mean tag in? Just get in there and fucking wail on the twat.
By the way, why does it look like Gohan's worshipping the fat cell here?
Just because that's what was happening in the show. So, but that's the point, though. It just feels like that in a lot of these tournament arcs, like, you know, in a lot of these shows that are hiding the tournament arc, there's no reason to do the things that they do. It's not honorable to fight. It's like, this guy is going to destroy your home, right? He's going to destroy your world. Does it really fucking matter? Right?
Yeah.
You got fucking Vegeta that turns around and is like, you know, oh, I'm fighting Cell on his own. Like, if Cell gets to eat Android, I don't know if it was 18 or 17 at the point, but, you know, if he gets to eat the Android, and then he becomes even more powerful.
That's the Saiyan Pride problem right there. But.
Well, it's just pride, period, because, you know, everyone has this problem, you know. I wish I had Saiyan pride and use that as an excuse for my stupid action. But like, but again,
you don't need it. You have Xeno pride.
Yeah, there we go. But again, a lot of the problems I have with a lot of the tournament arcs in so many shows is just the simple fact is you can tell where it's going. You're just prolonging the inevitable. Like okay, that's it. I'm doing it.
It wouldn't be a great story if the hero didn't win. You know.
Right. No, but it's not a great story regardless.
I know,
because you know,
I know.
Okay, so My Hero Academia season 2, right? They had the whole A team versus B team, right? So or class A versus class B. I can't but like the whole point is you knew class A for the vast majority of them were going to beat class B because we had spent no time establishing who class B were. Right, that's a brilliant start because, like, you know, well, I know who's going to win. It's going to be the people that have actually got developed skills, right? And then again, you know, when it's the anti-gravity girl, which I think is Urahara, versus the explosion Uraraka, thank you, versus the explosion kid, which is Bakugo.
This looks naughty.
Probably is, right? But you know,
the whole point is to you.
The whole point is that they're fighting each other. You know who's going to go forward because the next person has to fight Midoriya, who's like the main fucking protagonist of the show. So like, you know it's going to be Bakugo. It's yeah. So yeah. And this again is why I hate this because you can tell the direction the show's going to go in. Right?
Yeah.
And then the cool kick-ass fights that, like, oh, these are characters that I've got very little development in. You know, they cram, like, 3 of them in one episode. Because they got no development for those characters.
You also have to remember what age group this audience is, or, you know, this show is aimed at,
well,
right?
This is targeted for, yeah.
Yeah. So as an adult, you're used to these tropes. You've seen these tropes a million times. It becomes a problem with all media, right? You always know the hero's going to win. You always know the bad guy's going to lose because otherwise these stories wouldn't be told. And as an adult, that gets boring really fast. As a kid, that's fucking exciting. You're like, oh my god, they're gonna win? Are they gonna win? Of course they're gonna win. But you're a stupid kid. You don't know that yet. Does that make it good? No.
No.
Right. But I think it is important to keep that context in mind because kids aren't going to necessarily understand that.
I think it should be more about the actual journey, right? The route to get there. Yeah? Not just and now we're in a tournament arc.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when we were curating this list of all the different shows, I added on another 6 today or 7, and I had to go away and I had to go get the assets for it Because, like, honestly, I had seen every single one of these shows, and I have forgotten about all of them, right? Because they're just massive tournament arcs, and I'm just like, oh.
Meanwhile, I'm over here having only watched like 4 or 5, maybe tops.
Yeah. I don't know why that one's blank, but regardless, but yeah, it's just like, I you know, it stresses me out, like, to think that there are these, you know, wastes the space out there.
It's the same. So, it's the same problem with so much other content, right? They go for the easiest thing to produce, and then you just end up with trash. And anyway,
I get you.
Thaylien.
I get you. So here's a thing for discussion, and that's, funnily enough, another shonen, which is Naruto. Great slide to slide in on. So, okay. As Zeno pointed out, it's a journey, and there's also the development and what's along the way. The first tournament arc of Naruto was during the Chunin exams, and for a very good reason. It's the one that people remember. When they've watched Naruto, they watched all the way through to Naruto Shippuden and gone on. The first Chunin exam tournament is the one that they remember. And because they actually did do build-up. They went through the whole Chunin exam. They went through all of the adventures to get there, and finally narrowed down the competitors to the entrants that would then go into the actual showcase tournament. And the point is, there's 2 fights that everyone remembers from it. Well, technically 3. And the first one everybody remembers is Rock Lee versus Gaara. Because that fight has memes. Right. Okay. This is the Rocky of where Rock Lee lives up to the Rock name, because this is a thing where a regular combat oriented person fights off against somebody with a special ability. And it's a highlight of what the show's actually supposed to be all about, which is you try hard enough, you get to some fairly significant places. And Naruto kind of lost that over time with the whole, drive to become the Hokage, then getting a bit lost in the, oh no, my best friend Sasuke's left and the girl I like is pining over him, and I'm also a demon with a giant fox trapped inside my stomach, and all the flashy special things. But the Rock Lee versus Gaara fight is the earliest point in Naruto that people really remember, because of the way that it built up the character. You saw his adventures through the Chunin exam, and you saw the mystery of Gaara as a character, where he was just a presence in the Chunin exams. And you saw a few of his special abilities, like when they sat down to take the written test, and he used a sand eyeball up in the ceiling to spy on other people. But you never really saw what either of them could, properly do. And then you had that reveal, Rock Lee taking the training weights off his legs, and that giant mountain of dust they threw up as they hit the floor. And suddenly you thought, oh shit, he might win this. You had that variance,
but again,
that up and down roller coaster.
That's another one of those terrible tropes, though. Why would you go into it with your weight and gear still on, instead of just going in at full power?
But okay, yeah, you're right there, Nasuth. But one of the big things about that, and I'm in agreement with Thaylien on this one, right? There was so little known about these 2 combatants, right? And it did them right, because you actually got to learn about them in this fight. As opposed to the...
you had a little bit of them from the rest of it, and you saw a bit of their journey and who they were with. So, but yeah, as Zeno's pointing out, he's got the right point there.
You get to learn. What were the other 2 fights?
The other fight is Naruto's fight against Neji. Where, because it's the main character winning a fight and proving his point. But it was actually done fairly intelligently, with Naruto using his actual skills. It wasn't done by the bullshit kind of power of friendship, right? It was done by him using his thing. So it's not the best fight in there.
Yeah, do you know why?
Well, because there's all these reactions and things to it.
No.
No? Go on.
Neji's not a canon character. Neji never existed in the manga. That fight was made up.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and
That doesn't mean it's bad. As long as it's still good.
No, Neji was a fully fleshed out character by the anime.
Yeah. Well, you say that.
The fact that he's a made up character doesn't really matter when he actually did go all the way through to Shippuden and even have all sorts of things happen to him there and became a part of the actual overall story.
I thought he was scrapped from
Neji was
Shippuden.
No, well, he didn't survive Shippuden, but he did make it there.
Oh, okay. I thought he just ceased to exist.
But that's the thing, many of the other characters played off him. Rock Lee was massively driven by Neji's power. You know, Hinata as a character was massively driven by her brother's power. It's all of, and that many of the other characters, like, she calls him her brother. He's technically like from the branch clan while she's from the main clan, but she calls him her older brother. So then there's also the fact that other characters actually formed relationships and actually interacted with him, learned from him, and there was whole sections of the series around that kind of interaction between the Hyugas. Yeah, so there's a reason, and it was that thing where Naruto was actually asked to pull out all the stops, think differently. You know, he used his clones to hide an actual ninja trick of going underground and coming up underneath Neji for a hit that he couldn't avoid, even with his, super powerful, 8 trigrams technique. And it showed that it's one that people remember because it's the main character actually doing a fight right, And the third one, technically the only one other people remember, is what's his name against Tamari, the shadow user.
Shikishi or something.
Oh,
Shikamaru.
Yes, Shikamaru versus Tamari, where he actually figured out how to use his own techniques, his own tricks, and got the tsundere girl to like him from it.
That's the one I did like.
He actually quit at the end because it was too much trouble.
So Nasuth, for your benefit, right? What happens is you have a character that has an ability that I think if he stands on the shadow, if he can connect his shadow to his opponent's shadow, he can control their movements, and they are an exact mirror of his movements, right? I can't remember what his opponent's abilities were, but
she had wind power.
Right.
She was a long-range wind user.
Right. He's very skilled. He's very intelligent, but he's exceptionally lazy. He doesn't want to apply effort where he doesn't need to. So he's put into this tournament. He doesn't want to be there. And he's trying to work out a way that he can actually defeat her
but
successfully.
Also not participate.
Yes. Right. Yeah. In the end, when he eventually locks his shadow onto hers, what he ends up doing is throwing a kunai. So they both throw kunais at each other, right? And she's like, well, as soon as he dodges his, so the one I've thrown, I can dodge the one he's thrown, right? So lo and behold, he dodges, he basically falls backwards, all Neo style. And she's like, yes, I've got this, I'm in the bag, he can't do anything to me that without hurting himself. So she starts going backwards and then cracks her head on the wall behind her. Right? And knocks herself out. And so he wins. And it's just like, I love that, right? Actual proper way of, outthinking the situation, right?
Yeah.
But he was pretty much the only underdog fighting the whole damn thing.
Oh, yeah. So, that didn't benefit me at all.
It benefited you entirely. You're entirely benefited.
So this, I think, is a rather memorable use of a tournament because it did actually explore all the side characters that showed up. It was 16 people took part, and we actually found out about those 16 people, and they were then used later on in the show to great effect for the plot. You found out Shikamaru himself, being intelligent, actually became a very important figure in many of the other arcs. Rock Lee as a combatant, he's just for frontline fighting, became very important for taking on some powerful people. Even Tamari comes back in the best of Tsundere Rage. Let's put it that way. The whole thing, all of the characters stayed relevant because of the time they went through in that tournament. So yeah,
that's an actual thoughtful character development tournament. That's pretty good.
So where do we want to take it from here? We've had the whole discussion there.
Well,
what do you think?
I've got one.
I
got one for you.
Okay, go on.
Right. So there's a few points I want to talk about. One is a good justification for a tournament arc, right? So a good justification for a tournament arc, I feel, is the likes of Deadman Wonderland, right? I was hoping it would actually transition, but it hasn't. It's just underneath all Nasuth. Yeah. So there's Deadman Wonderland, right? Now, the great thing about Deadman Wonderland is that it's supposed to be convicts that are on death row, and they are effectively put into underground death matches where they're supposed to kill each other, and it's the way they can the way they have to fight basically ends up killing themselves, right? So
yes.
Really cool. I like how they do this with the whole inmate situation.
Because one win extends your life, basically.
No.
Winning.
So in Deadman Wonderland, you fight using your own blood, right? So if you use too much of your own blood,
yes.
you become anemic, right?
Yes, I know. But what I mean is they are given those pills that actually stop them from dying from lack of participation.
Oh yeah,
if they win. Yeah. So winning extends their life, but fighting is almost sure to result in their death.
Yeah. The other side of it is Girls in Panzer, right? So Girls in Panzer does the journey extremely well, right? One of the best parts of it is that that our protagonist team is going to be the winning team, because
of course. They have to be.
Well, yeah, exactly. They're the Japan team. Yeah. Anyway, that's besides the point.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to be. But the journey getting there is just fun and adorable. It's effectively, slice of life mixed in with a tournament, right?
With tank action.
Yeah, with tank action.
It's one of the only. It's one of the only shows that made me actually appreciate the French in a show.
There, Xeno.
Wait. Have we got to the French? I don't think we have.
I don't think so. I don't think Xeno and Laws are making me watch it, and
what?
I feel really weird because it is really adorable and wholesome, but it's also like really fucking funny. So like I actually really enjoy it. I'm actually really loving it. It's oh my god. Yeah. It's just it's
the team based combat as well as just the it's okay. We're
they have
rooting
to actually
for
be
the
clever
team.
too. It's not just they go in and beat each other senseless. No, they have to use skill and trickery and
tactics.
Tankery. Anyway, but the last one, and this ruined heavily High School Double D for me, was the 4th season of Double D, right? Has a fucking tournament arc in it, and it's just like the direction. It's like, okay, fine. It's only I think it's like 6 episodes, right, out of the entire season, but it's just a waste of space. And I think, in all honesty, it's the big reason why the original studio did not want to continue working on it. They were like, we don't want to do this because you're going into a tournament arc, right? It's right. And so, which, like, do you guys want to particularly focus on any one of those 3 points, or do you want to,
Well,
No, these are good points.
Yeah, I was going to kind of talk. I was going to have to talk about Kill la Kill and how it fits in with the whole idea of developing characters.
I want to know why you've got this as part of a tournament arc.
Well, it kind of is, though, isn't it? Because she's supposed to go through. She has to go through all of the numbered.
Goku.
Something. Goku. Yes.
Goku.
And she's got to climb all the way to the top before she can get there. And I mean, even the parts after that, I would argue, kind of fit into that whole hidden tournament arc idea, where they are still in the tournament arc. It's just that you didn't realize that there were bosses above the end of the arc. But it does it to further the character. It does it to build the character up and tell you more about her and her relationship to the other people. And it's just really well handled.
To add on to Nasuth's comments, I feel that the show starts off with this whole tournament arc thing, right? The whole, you have to ascend the Goku uniforms, you have to ascend the ranks before you dare challenge, I can't remember her name, right? Yeah. And it's... Do you say Satsuki?
Something like that, isn't it?
I honestly can't remember. But, the president of the school, right? You have to ascend this ladder, but when they get to effectively towards the top of the ladder, shit goes wrong, right? And in typical tournament fashion, the tournament gets cancelled, right? So many shows do that.
Ostensibly,
but I would say the tournament. But it's good because it doesn't. I don't think that the show then re-enters that tournament thing. It then becomes the more battle royale free-for-all mess that is more palatable for me personally, right? Yeah. I hated so much how in Fairy Tail the whole what's it called? We've got an entire season of this tournament arc. The tournament arc likewise gets interrupted, and then they go on hiatus for 2 years? Longer? I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the hell happened prior. So, but I think, Kill la Kill's a brilliant
I liked it better
example.
when it was Rave Master.
But yeah, it doesn't just do it to have a tournament. It doesn't just do it to have a tournament arc. It's not. Again, it's not just people going in and beating each other senseless. They have to learn things about themselves and about each other, and figure out ways to get around problems. And it's not. It's handled so cleverly, and more shows could do it. And they're just so lazy.
And again, I think I think the more we talk about this, the more I realize that tournament arcs work better if there's tongue-in-cheek and they don't take themselves too seriously. It's like, yeah, of course Ryoko's going to ascend the ranks and get on with the rest of the show. We're not denying that. We fully acknowledge that. We're getting on with it.
We care how over the top and silly we can make it.
Exactly, right? The likes of Girls and Panzer.
And how overpowered we can make these guys seem at first.
Yeah. We're going to make it so that the main group of tanks are going to fight our antagonist group of tanks. But it's like we're just having fun along the way. We're being dumb, we're being stupid, we're having fun with it, right? We're using mobile phones to cheat. It's dumb fun, but
it's clever too, and it's
exactly
and that's what's missing.
Well, I think when you take yourself too seriously in a tournament, right, it can heavily backfire, right, in terms of the narrative.
Well, again, Dragon Ball Super, right? I like the first tournament because it's really just a nice little simple competition between two of the different universes. But then you get to the Universal Survival arc, and it literally is, if you lose, your universe is destroyed. And because the stakes are so high and everyone is taking it so seriously, it's interesting, but it's way less fun. It stretches out so bad. Everything is overwrought.
It's why the only memorable thing from that whole thing was the
Master Roshi and how it ended.
Yeah, Master Roshi, and also I was going to say the Ultra Instinct music.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because that was memeable. So I liked the fact that there was not the seriousness of the first tournament, because it gets to the point where Vegeta is literally kicking a poor boy when he's down.
Yeah,
because he's supposed to be a proud Saiyan, and he's a skinny twig of a boy, and so Vegeta actually spends the time trying to get him to power up so that he can have a actually semi-decent fight.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not just that.
Yeah.
He wants the kid. Like they actually form a bond over that, which is really interesting for Vegeta.
Yeah.
Like that whole arc was really kind of cool, and then they just.
It wasn't a tournament as we know it, but on the other hand, as a contrast, we have the simple problem of when people don't take tournament arcs seriously enough, because otherwise you end up with BOFURI.
Okay.
Because BOFURI's why is that switched to Shakugan as Shana?
I don't know.
How strange.
Anyway, so it's BOFURI. The first tournament arc they do is supposed to be this event for the game's creators to see how their first couple of weeks of out of alpha have finally done. Don't worry. And in that, they end up with these 3 people that have exploited their game to the point of silliness, including Maple. And the entire thing is just to show off how, I'm so silly. I'm just going to sit here and take no damage and bonk you on the head with my shield. And then when you all get drawn in, I'm going to cast one overpowered ability to get some insane amount of damage. Right? It's not actually...
Pause it real quick. Okay. Pause it real quick. I know exactly what the problem is.
It's fixed.
Right, we're back.
Tina's a genius.
Excellent. He's managed it. So the whole point of this is that in this, they try to do a tournament just to make it seem like a game event. And they didn't take it seriously enough. And so it just became an overpowered isekai protagonist thing.
Oh.
And so instead of actually being a real tournament, real competition where, actually facing off against multiple opponents and winning battles would actually matter, you end up with just Maple being 3rd place because they didn't even introduce the other 2 characters who were powerful enough to beat her. So there was no weight to it, no seriousness, no character development. This was a gear check. That's all it was.
I mean, if anything, I'd argue this was more of a meme than anything else, which there's nothing wrong with that, right? Personally, I was fine with this because it was 1 episode, right? Until the later fight, which was just this huge thing, which I think spanned multiple episodes.
Yes.
And it's I kind of feel like it needs to pick a side. Does it want to be a jokey meme, or does it actually want to be a tournament thing, right? Because even though Girls and Panzer, which I think is one of the peak representations of a tournament arc, is dumb. I know, I appreciate it. It still followed certain rules, whereas BOFURI was really selective in which rules it wanted to follow at what given time. Right? It was
I think Girls and Panzer also does something that a lot of tournament arcs seem to forget, and that is the importance of good sportsmanship. Many other tournaments, it's the enemy. We've got to take out the enemy. Man, they're just the worst thing ever. And then in this one, it's at the end of the one that we just watched, right? The American came over to them and was like, "Hey, you did really good. You can try and infiltrate our school again anytime." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's great."
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, even maybe appreciate the French in the series. So it's really well done.
Does this hit that mark in terms of no? It's again,
and I
think
very in the same way, you've got a few others like that where the tournament is just a gear check for the main characters.
Yes. If you don't mind. One to really highlight here is Asterisk War, right? I really enjoyed Asterisk War, and I really hope that there would be more to the show. But like the second season was literally a case of like, oh, this is just a gear check for all, for the main character versus all the other characters from all the other schools and the other regions and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's fine, but I'm only invested in the main characters, and maybe it's a case of the demographic is just the main character. It's like, it's for people that just want focus on the main character and no one else. I mean, fuck, I get tired of shows like Game of Thrones enough, and I whinge about it. That and it's because they're flitting around all of them so much. But if you want to have a proper tournament, you need to be able to spend time to actually appreciate who's going to win, right? Because realistically, this is one of the biggest bugbears I had with My Hero Academia, is that when Todoroki won the tournament, oh sorry, spoilers. When Todoroki won the second season, the tournament in the second season, like, it was like, who the fuck is this guy? We've only seen him in this season. He's in the first season, but barely. He's in it for like maybe 1 or 2 scenes, and that's it. Like, who the fuck is this guy just winning the entire fucking thing? Was he here from the beginning? And it kind of undermines the value. Yeah.
I think exactly. I'm trying to tabulate like what we've learned, and that definitely fits in. Does the character just feel like they're just gonna win because of the main character?
If you're gonna take this seriously, you have to develop each character. Again, another positive to Girls on Panzer. I don't know why I'm so fixated on it. I am. Another, it's a good one. Like, you have to round out your characters, right? You've got characters there that don't want to do it because they don't want to get up at 6 in the morning. But if they do, it gives them enough credits to pass the entire year, right?
Yep.
Otherwise, they're going, right, you've got characters that want to do it, but it's like their family hates it because it's not flower arranging, which is the tradition in them. Yes. It's like you've got characters that are well-rounded, but so many of the characters in stuff like My Hero Academia, or let's bring it back to Asterisk War, the opponents of our main cast in Asterisk War, like, they just exist for this tournament and for no other reason, right?
That's the real killer. So it's an interesting one because I'm seeing something in the list here, and I want to talk about why is it in here, which is Fate Zero.
Because it is.
Yes. So it technically does class as a tournament, as having a tournament arc, because the entire premise of the Fate series is that you get into a big free-for-all by summoning representatives and going into fights. But it does feature more like a free-for-all, or even possibly a battle royale.
Yeah, this is 100% a battle royale, because either the master dies or the servant dies.
We don't do slaves here.
No, we don't. So it's either the master or the servant that dies. Right?
We call them interns these days.
Oh my god.
At least we both cringed at that, Nasuth. But anyway, but the big thing with Fate Zero is it's like, it is kind of treated as a tournament, because even though that there isn't a huge mass of onlookers, there are key individuals that are invested in what's going on. Likewise, the actions of specific characters, like, you know, they are strategic, they are careful, they are methodical. They don't just...
There is this Chad of a man who is one of the best characters in the entire
Is this
series.
Alexander?
Yes.
Right. I can't
man
remember. Yeah.
Cowed multiple other characters just by revealing what his ability is. And actually got other characters to sit down that we were scared of in the first place to sit down and drink with him because he's that powerful.
And
so
again, it's a case of, like, you know, characters. So, I mean, I think one of the best historical figures in ancient times is Achilles, right? The great thing about Achilles is that, you know, we all know the Achilles ankle, right? The whole point is that is his weakness. You hit his ankle, he is basically down for the count. That is how the servants work.
Wait, I was going to say, it's Achilles' heel, isn't it?
It's a heel. So, his mother held him by the heel when she dipped his body into the river Styx to basically prevent him from harm.
Sorry, Achilles' heel. Yeah. Sorry, yes, you're right. But
yes.
I thought it was just some weird
point
thing.
Sorry,
it's a whole thing of you must... so even the strongest of warriors has a weakness.
Yes.
And it's a great lesson to learn. You know, and you
but
should
not
never
just that.
Even a defeated opponent isn't to be underestimated.
But not only that, they have to be strategic. They have to hide their identity. Like, if we're talking about being serious, this is how you do serious correctly, right? You know, a lot of the time it's, you know, they're faking who Saber's master is, right? There's a huge element to strategy in this, as opposed to let's just blow it up, right? Oh, hold on, we've got the anti-gravity girl versus the guy that sweats explosions, right? I wonder who's gonna fucking win, right? I don't know. Maybe the anti-gravity girl could do something smart and actually, I don't know, drop a fucking nuke on him. See if he can survive that explosion, right? But it's like but that's the problem though. It's they're not thinking strategically. They're trying to force the square peg down the in the round hole.
Yes, they're not actually willing to commit.
No, they overcommit. Right? That's the problem. It's like, this is my one job. I am only good at this one job. Therefore, if I don't win by this one job...
Sorry. I meant the author isn't willing to properly commit.
Yes. Because they know how they want the fight to win. Right? They know how... but they don't write it in such a way that both characters have thought this through.
Yeah?
They want it to be as easy a win as possible. And this is why Fate fucking trounces all of this, because it is written in such a way that all the characters will do what they need to win.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's the thing you were looking for is the Stan Lee comic effect, right? Stan Lee made the point that when people say who would win out of Batman versus Spider-Man or something like that, and Stan Lee pointed out, well, it depends on whose comic it is.
Yeah.
You know, this is why Squirrel Girl is one of the most powerful characters in the fucking entire cinema extended universe, because
didn't she take
her
down
comics,
Galactus?
Yes, and Thanos. No, not Thanos. The other one, Darkseid. Something like that. The one that's actually the one that's in their universe.
No, that is Thanos. That is Thanos.
Yeah, Thanos.
No, it's Thanos.
And Doctor Doom.
Yes, sorry, yes.
Yeah, Doctor Doom, Galactus, and Thanos. So she actually took the real ones down, and it was verified by a watcher. She didn't take down a clone or anything else. It was the real ones by overwhelming them with squirrels, and it's because it's her comic.
Yeah.
So, the whole thing of the author not writing both characters as if they've actually thought things through is what applies. That is the whose comic is it effect.
Yeah, it's absolutely like, and this is the, I suppose the fundamental thing, right? You can either write a tournament, not respecting the tournament and just having fun, a la Kill la Kill. God, that was great timing. Or you can write a tournament that is serious and should be, acted out seriously by the characters.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You need to be able to say at any point in time that the winner of the tournament isn't decided.
But if you know from
yeah, but if at the end of the day, right, they know, oh, I want this person to win, right? Like it shouldn't be like that.
I think you could still do that, but you could do it cleverly. You could do it so that to the audience it doesn't seem like that would be the outcome. It could be
even
anyone.
Then,
but in the back of your head, here's how I'm gonna craft that narrative so that it doesn't actually look that way to anyone until it happens.
But that's the thing. I don't think you even need to go that far, because as old and jaded as we are towards storylines now, I think that as long as an arc for a serious tournament hits the right story beats, we'd be satisfied. Even if we wouldn't enjoy it as much as something as something that genuinely surprised us, as long as the character journeys.
It'd be the difference
actually
between like
filled
filled
out the characters.
Watch.
Yes, exactly.
No, I disagree.
No?
The reason why I disagree, right? How different would, again, that tournament in season 2 of My Hero Academia have been if in the first round, Bakugo and what was the Todoroki. How different would the whole tournament played out if those two fought at the very start, right? The whole tournament would have been completely on its toes. But they wanted it so that the narrative was that structured. So you can tell just by looking at the lineup at the very bottom how it's going to play out. Because Bakugo is going to beat whomever. Either what was Gravity Girl's call? Uraraka, or I don't know who she first fought. Either one of those going to fight Bakugo, and Bakugo is going to win, right? You can basically see the backwards planning of the whole thing because they wanted they wanted the ultimate fight at the top, right? They didn't design it in such a way. No tournament is designed in such a way where it's just draw of a hat, right? And that's the thing that I cannot abide by, right? Put Bakugo and Todoroki at the start. Completely just take one of them out, and you have my full respect.
Yeah, but then you don't have as I don't want to say as interesting a narrative, because in some ways it would be more interesting, but...
Exactly! That's the point, though, isn't it? You're taking out one of your powerhouses right at the start.
But then you're also, like, making the end... It's probably going to be underwhelming.
Why? Why does the end have to be underwhelming?
Because it's probably going to end up being one really powerful person against somebody who's, like, the next level down, which is probably mediocre.
Well...
But that's what happened anyway, right? If you think about any tournament, right, no matter what, the winner will have started from the bottom, right? No matter what, because everyone has to start at the bottom. But that fight between the top person and number 2 is going to be fucking good, because number 2 had to work their way there.
Not unless your two potential number ones fought in the first round, and now your other potential number 1 has been knocked out, because the gap between those two could be less wide than the gap between that person and the new other number 1, right? So you can have a much wider gap between them than the person who got knocked out. So
is it more important? Is it more important to have a shorter gap than something that's believable, something that's more interesting.
I don't know.
So, no, this is something I kind of thought of. I saw Hunter x Hunter pop up briefly because that made me think of conflicting powers and things. Because what would happen if you had the two people that you wanted to win face off in the first round? Well, you could make one of the opponents that they face in the last round be somebody that the loser of that bout would have beat in the other side. So if they start on opposite sides, there would be an opponent that the protagonist would be really weak against. Maybe like an elemental thing where they would have yes. But because you in a normal like shonen kind of style, that would go up, and then your secondary character, your lancer, would face off against them and say, "Yeah, it's a good job you're facing off against me and not so and so, because I can beat you easily." That kind of interaction. Whereas if they fought in the first round, that narrow battle would be exciting and set up for the audience of the thing that who's actually stronger out of the two. Then they'd go through and the potential one actually face off against a fleshed out enemy who they actually have to work against because it's not clear that they can win. That could be more entertaining.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So, but just thinking about the not taking it too seriously and mixing it up in that same sense, the one that didn't make this list because it's only a tournament episode, that it's kind of fun, is Outlaw Star.
Oh my god,
dear!
Because there's a single episode tournament in this one, and they do it right. They don't take it too seriously. They have Jean Starwin dress up as Jenny Starwin to enter a women's wrestling thing, but the reason he goes in is because they want to beat a particular opponent. That if they can take them out, then she has to start over again and has another 10 years of winning the tournaments before she can fulfill her goals. And they mix up because the first time Jenny Starwin meets her in the ring, he's knocked out immediately. And then they've got Aisha Clan mixed in with the things to try and take her out. But just to throw that off, the person they want to take out gets beaten by a completely different person, who Aisha then faces off with in the finals, and it turns out to burn the whole thing down because it's another Katal. So that is a very similar kind of thing where they don't take the tournament very seriously. It doesn't tell you anything about the characters, but the stakes are suddenly uprooted
and yet,
by something else happening.
I would say that it is also informed by the character because we already kind of know them at this point. So it's very informed by what we know about them already.
Yes. And it's yet another case of Gene getting his ass kicked by a woman, so we can always appreciate that.
Talking about knowing the characters, right? I think one anime in particular really highlights the importance that the anime can't just be a tournament arc, which is God of High School, right? So
yes.
just to be clear, right? I appreciate it if people like this show. I fucking hated it. I thought it was awful, right? The reason why I thought it was awful was because I didn't understand any of the motivation of any of the characters, because apparently they don't start this anime from the beginning of the manhwa, right? I always asked, why is it called the God of High School, right? And because the manhwa actually starts at high school, right?
Yes.
It's this kid that is basically fighting amongst other students within his own high school, right?
Indeed.
And ultimately, it gets to a point where it has a tournament arc. But the whole anime series skips that beginning part, no explanation whatsoever, and just starts straight into...
Just drops the three main characters into the tournament together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
You find out this bad guy right there. That's being pointed out in the not quite wrong kind of salute. And
No, they're
you
threatening
find out-
him to stop.
I know they're threatening him, but it does look like they're almost about to salute him.
Sure.
Yes, so you find out about him at least a little bit, his motivations. You find out about the other two characters that join him, that as
Ever
they
so
go to
slightly.
different schools, and
Yeah.
you find out that they exist and they're not actually friends from his school or whatever. And there is a little bit of background for all of them. And the other thing is that the actual manual goes into why he's the god of high school, which they never go into in the tournament arc.
Yeah.
And so making the entire show the tournament arc means you don't find out why it's high school, and you don't find out why he's the god of high school.
Yeah. It's
just a
They
tournament.
don't even do flashbacks or anything.
they do the odd flashback towards the
But
end
not
of the
enough.
series.
Oh no! Towards the end is
But
especially
not-
bad, and they need more
Yes.
of them.
But it's so I just feel that this was animated beautifully. This was Mappa, right?
Yeah.
The system hasn't actually fetched those details because we only had it in earlier today. But it's done by Mappa. Animation wise, looks fantastic. I don't like the fact that every character looks like they've got a cold with the nose and the ears, the red ears. But I think that was the stylistic thing of the manhwa, right? And I'm not gonna knock them for following the original source material. I won't do that. But I will 100% knock them for choosing to just do a tournament arc. That's all they did, right? No idea
The
who.
kids love tournament arcs.
Oh my god!
And I will never forgive them for never reaching the point where we meet the Ox Queen, or Ox King, but she's
Okay,
definitely not a king.
right.
Good Lord, that's waifu material right there.
Anything else we want to talk about? Honourable mentions.
Well,
for-
if you don't have
Keijo.
any more, Keijo, yeah. I do have one that we kind of touched on that we had before the show that we haven't talked about at all. So Zeno and I were discussing: does JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fit into the whole hidden tournament arc thing? And I think we ended up deciding that some of them do, and some of them
And some of
don't.
them don't.
So like 1 and 2 definitely don't, because it's more of a hero's journey story. But
not just that, but there's only really the JoJo character that's involved,
Yeah.
right?
He may have some helpers, but they're just there to help train him, not to fight for him or with him. But then you get to start as Crusaders, and suddenly you've got a team versus team battle sort of thing. And there are definitely cases where they get separated from each other, and so you only have 1 or 2 at a time fighting 1 or 2 enemy stand users at a time. Does that one count?
I'm not sure. I feel like there's more instances where there's onlookers in the team and things. Like I think oh god, what's his name? Kakyoin versus the Death Card. I think that's a brilliant one because the other team members are all there. They're all witness to effectively Kakyoin's fight. Ultimately, they're witness to Kakyoin's fight. The fight where it's Dio, they're all in it together, right? A lot of the time, they are, they're either isolated or they're all in it. But there are the odd occasion where it's just one of them doing all the work, and that is very tournament styled. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I come down on it too. It feels much more like a hidden tournament arc sort of thing.
Yeah, I think the plane was one of them as well. The fly on the plane. I think only
dream.
one of them did anything. But what?
With the whole dream thing, where like one of
No.
them
That's the death card. That's the
oh,
death.
right. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
The first plane that they were on that crashed. There was like a fly on there. I think only one of them did anything. But again, it's very much that way.
And then in Egypt, when they're actually like climbing towards Dio's tower, it again feels like here we've got to eliminate some of these characters now. We'll do it in a very tournament style fashion.
But it was all at the same time, kind of thing. Again, I feel that Diamonds Are Unbreakable lends again towards this, where it's like, you know, there's the odd time when, you know, you've got Oritiasu, I can't remember what his name is, the guy with the hand.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's Motoyasu.
where he's fighting Red Hot Chili Peppers, and like JoJo's sort of like basically stood there watching, right, as the hand is destroying the bike and everything. So there's again when there's a lot of back and forth with this. I feel with Golden Wind, no, because pretty much they all join in, right? Whenever something's going down,
it's rare
they're all in
be
it
really
together.
Separated. Yeah.
No. It's rare that they'll onlook.
Yeah. Yes. Right? Yes. That's what I mean. Yes.
Yeah. And again, in Stone Ocean, very rare for them to onlook. They'll all participate whenever they're around. Yeah.
Yeah.
So but JoJo's a bit of an odd one.
I think.
Oh, one last one then.
Yep. Go ahead.
Oh no! Don't let me interrupt.
I just think it's interesting that you can potentially find this sort of trope in shows that aren't really geared. Like, is it really a tournament arc at that point, or is it just more of a villain of the week? I don't know, but I think they're very similar, and I think that's kind of an interesting thought. Like,
it is. Yes,
they're really close.
So, just one last show that is definitely a tournament, but is built around it. Is Record of Ragnarok.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. For as bad as the show is, what do you think about that for tournament arc?
Well, like conceptually, as a show, like the concept is actually really interesting. You know, the ideas of deities versus, you know, humanity. I think that's excellent, but the problem is the execution, the animation, or therefore lack of, is just like, what is going on? I feel that all the characters realistically need a backstory before their fight starts, not halfway through their fight.
Exactly.
You know, because not everyone's going to be familiar with Thor. Not everyone's going to be familiar with Adam. Not everyone's going to be familiar with I don't know who the first human. He was some
Prometheus?
Chinese general. That guy there. No. That guy there on the right. He's like the first human champion. I honestly have no idea who the fuck he is. Right. All I know is he's from China. That's it. So and that's problematic.
They do tick some of our boxes for things to do. They just do them in the wrong place and in the wrong way. So method really counts for these.
Yeah. Any others that anyone wants to highlight?
I still think we need to bring Keijo up on screen for a couple of minutes at least.
Honourable
just to mention
mentions.
it, so that because
people can understand
Keijo
why
is
it's
a
an honourable
particular.
mention.
Yeah.
Honourable mentions to Keijo because it's just dumb fun. Do you want to leave it up for a little longer?
What a concept, though. What a concept. Just until another slide comes up, though. I mean, it is dumb fun. The idea of basically combat on a pool on floaties. So, and you have to knock yourself over, but you can't do it with anything except your bum. That, as a concept, is just hilarious. But they actually come out with all these stupid techniques for it.
Oh, God, yeah.
And this is the epitome of not taking it too seriously. And it is pure fan service. This entire show
is hilarious.
Is I mean,
it's not what you think. It's not what you think.
No.
Isn't it though?
Isn't it though?
Another honourable mention is Chivalry of False Knight.
Yes.
This was charming. This was, I mean, it wasn't the best, but it was still an enjoyable watch. What's it called? Megalobox. You kind of still know where the thing's going, but it's fun. And one that does not get nearly enough love because it's not the UC timeline is Gundam Build Fighters. Fucking love Gundam Build Fighters. Build Fighters is fucking amazing. The thing is, it's teams of 3 Gundams, right? And they all make plastic model kits, and then they basically charge them with GN particles, and then they're fighting little model kits. It's so much dumb fun. Too bad about the dub, but yeah. Fuck it, I think we're just gonna watch it anyway. Right, there you go. Those are my honourable mentions. I don't know if you guys have it.
No, I think we've hit all of the notes we really needed to. Well, I think so anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Nasuth thinks.
Well, I just haven't watched too many of these, and that's probably for the best. It sounds like.
Yeah.
There are the other like pure serious tournament shows like Baki and Kengan Ashura. There was the other. What was the boxing or Hajime no Ippo? You know those.
We didn't mention Yu-Gi-Oh. We should totally mention Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, no, and it's the card ones like Yu-Gi-Oh or the Pokemon stuff. We mentioned Pokemon, but Yu-Gi-Oh is very much to blame about the silly tournament arcs. And there's a couple of shows I'm surprised that I haven't seen on any of our lists before, like Killing Bites.
Oh, I've seen that.
I've not
really
seen
fucking
that.
forgettable. Yeah.
Okay, that's probably why. But
Please don't.
No, I'm not going to now that you said, but still, it's one of those ones I haven't seen on any of our lists, so worth mentioning because it qualifies for it.
Yep.
No, I think that's rounded us out quite nicely.
Cool. Okay. So tournament arcs, they can work if done right. Rarely done right.
I think our dues were characters should be clever and use tactics. Tournaments should inform you about and develop the characters. They should have good sportsmanship, and they should have real consequences when they're going to be serious, which is exactly the Don'ts column is don't be overly serious unless you're willing to really commit, like real consequences. Don't focus too much on onlookers, and there definitely should not be a gear check. And
I think one the other slight thing is don't make the fucking tournament obvious where it's going. Yeah. Well, I think that goes under the be willing to really commit. Sort of thing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Shall we move on to supporter questions?
We got some supporter questions.
Okay. So, as Rugel says, before we start the supporter questions, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for listening to our podcast so far. We really appreciate all the likes, YouTube likes, and comments everyone leaves on these episodes. And if you haven't subscribed already, you probably should. Right. So, as Rugel says, Rugel asks, on a scale of kitten to true chaos, how has Nasuth's alignment been for this episode?
Milder than
Ginger
mine.
Tomcat.
Kitten, but the kitten from If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device. So
no, I was Ginger Tomcat.
Ginger Tomcat also works.
Ginger Tomcat.
Yes. But unfortunately, the brain cell. The brain cell was not with me.
You weren't the one that had Keijo up on the screen for 2 minutes, so we could see the extra slides. So.
Nasuth in Shadow asks, if you went to school where they had something called tankery, how disappointed would you be to find out they're talking about fish tanks? Exceptionally. My first question, so when we were watching it, right, in the first episode, they talk about using live rounds, and I had to pause it because I was like, wait a second, how are they going to survive if they're using live? Apparently, the interiors of the tanks are coated so that the live rounds won't penetrate. It's just like, fucking hell, man. And then Carbon of Night asks, but what if it were like this? And there's an asset. Oh my fucking god, that is amazing. That is fucking amazing. 100% that works. 100%.
I don't know where he found it, but I love it. I love it. I love it.
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Right, and now on to the comments from last week. So, first of all, the news. Effendor! Old man yells at cows was underappreciated. Yeah.
I'm not sure what we were yelling at, but I'm...
Because of Cloud that I brought Cloud.
Oh yeah,
Cloud.
Yes.
Right. Zrugel says...
I didn't want to do that because we don't acknowledge Xeno's puns. Only my bad puns and Nasuth's bad puns.
Fair.
Okay.
I don't think I pun, but anyway. Right, so Zrugel says, I don't have a High Dive account, but I'm sad to see anime become less accessible. Oh, I didn't know that about being blue in Japan. Sorry, in Japanese.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the blue versus green.
That was great.
Very
Strombus Shell says, good news, everyone! ChatGPT didn't screw up the stories. Not that it usually does. Maybe keep us updated on the Chad
Stahelski.
Yeah, anime. Wait,
that's
the John Wick stuff, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Chad Stahelski. Yep.
Right. Now moving on to the cast. Right. So, what was last week's topic?
It was Jenny.
Yes.
Oh yes. Right. Okay. So, Stormer Shell says, "Ha ha ha! Yes, watch all the bad anime for me, cause I'm not gonna." The memes this week were amazing. Zrugel says... Okay. Zrugel says... Nasuth says Zrugel was clearly vibing with us because he said this before we even really got into the episode proper, and it's spot on. God, Jesus Christ, Nasuth, what? I've always wondered why... I've always wondered, surely... not all stories can represent the hero's journey. Surely some can some really crap stories just don't play right, and this is a mark of a good story. However, if the hero's journey does apply to anything, maybe it's vague enough to apply to everything, like a horoscope.
Which is basically what the episode was kind of about.
Kinda, yeah. When Xeno was talking about "So I'm a Spider," pure spider goodness is not something I'd ever thought I'd hear Xeno say. Yeah, because I fucking hate spiders. I was wondering if you talk about Konosuba. I didn't really have an opinion. I just wanted to hear your analysis. Great show for you guys. And then Effendor says, so the hero's journey is one of many writing tools to help structure a good narrative, but it is less and less common to utilize, which is why we get things like power fantasies popping up all over the place. So when you guys going to do the next video on the 3 arc structure, personally, this tends to be the one I find more detrimental than when an anime snubs or tries to invert. I'm interested. I'm certainly.
That's
interested.
a good topic to maybe go into. The 3-act structure as a general thing. When anime ignores it,
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Does it?
It can be something.
Does it? Or is part of
the
the problem that it sticks too closely to it? We'll have to talk about this.
Okay.
You might have some topics for talking about then. Yes.
Man, I feel completely out of my field here. Right. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the memes. So, all these memes all our memes come from Reddit. I don't know where you guys get it. However, if you want to see the memes that are shown here today, you can actually go into the description below where you'll find a link to the website where all the memes are hosted. So the URLs look a bit janky, but they're all perfectly safe. Right.
Just in case, because Reddit does delete things, and people on Reddit delete their own memes.
And also the fact that someone can occasionally link to for work.
Right. We've got 3 viewer memes this week. Shall we get right into it? While Thaylien tries to deny his culpability. Anyway.
Oh God, I remember the first time I saw this.
Oh my God. That's fucking brilliant.
The best part of the song, the GPS voice, me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Piccolo.
Oh my God, brilliant.
Accurate. Good. All right, and
I don't
number
know what
3.
the anime is.
Just remember, your soulmate out there is doing the same stupid, awkward thing you're doing right now. Is this a pigeon? Is this a butterfly?
Is it a butterfly?
Oh my God.
I love this other one too. I've seen that before. It's so good.
Oh my God, so good. Right, moving on to Nasuth's memes.
Working with Mexicans is the fucking best, dude. All the kitchen guys call me pinche grilling. And today, one of them surprised me with this.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm glad it made him happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Why do people keep saying Goku is the most powerful when Grand Zeno exists?
Yep, brilliant.
Not that Xeno.
Oh.
Right, we got another video meme.
Although similar shape.
Oh God.
What?
Sorry.
To Grand Zeno.
Oh no. Oh. Oh.
ってもらっておいて悪いが、食すにあたり一つ条件がある。
Oh.
自分の作ったものはお前の責任を持って味見しろ。
Yes.
失礼だぞ旦那。
Yes.
全くだ。
毒味と言わないだけありがたく思ってほしいし、普通味見はするんだよ。
Yep, there you go. Oh shit! Oh fuck! I cut off the ending.
Don't worry. Don't worry. It's fine.
Their clothing explodes, a la Food Wars, but then they collapse and are on the floor. Like,
Yes.
like dead.
Okay.
It's great.
It's all right. That's okay to cut.
I thought it was starting over. The internet service provider figuring out what was. Me downloading something using a VPN. The internet service provider figuring out what is going on. Blocking my connection.
Yep. Yep. Seems legit.
Hermes, you're always trying to give people stickers. What is with you? I just think they're neat.
Oh my God.
And my last one is also a video meme.
Aww.
Faith in the next generation restored.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Absolutely brilliant.
I just woke up in an unknown world with the strongest abilities in the world, and I want to do good things. Oh, great. You're going to free the slaves and not get a harem consisting of little girls and slaves, right? Right?
Nope.
So, all anime, top anime of all time.
Oh wow.
Film.
It's actually
Yep,
beaten
it's-
it, has it? Oh wow.
And just that Freeman in the jacket, the strongest.
Yep.
Yeah, for how long?
I warn you about the next one. I think number 3 is video.
Yep, it is a video. Good lord.
Oh my God. I always think it's ridiculous how Bulma is just like, oh yeah, just take 5 years off.
5 years off. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Hey Aura, check how hard I can release mana.
I don't get it.
Oh,
You
you've
won't,
not seen
it's
this
fine.
one. The meme is, hey dude,
It's
check
fine.
out how hard I can cry. And it's just whoosh of tears.
Okay.
So, where is this headed? Help me, Sloper, I'm stuck. What are you doing, Slowbro?
Oh my god.
Oh dear. Oh my god. What the fucking god damn it.
Oh.
Oh,
At some point, I will tell you where I find these, but not today.
yeah, anyway.
God damn it.
My number one. Sandalphon
Oh dear.
is the name of the sword from Data Live. Yep.
My brain.
Sandalphon. Yep.
Yes.
The strongest wizard becomes a countryside guardsman after taking an arrow to a knee. Visible approval.
From Chad Todd Howard.
Yep. Most tragic story? That's adorable.
Indeed.
Yep.
What the
That's so you got the live action One Piece, and then you've got what Zoro does with like these insane weights in the anime.
right.
And it's like expecting to replicate this.
Right. Oh, so that's what they're holding up to him. Okay. I
Yeah.
see. This is
Yeah.
what you need to be doing. Oh, I get it. That's actually really good.
Yep.
That's actually really good.
Yep.
This one
Could
was,
this woman be one of you people?
this one is all over right now.
Oh.
Right.
Yes.
So Thaylien will 100% get this. Poor
Yes.
Nasuth.
You don't know what that potion does, Nasuth.
No, but I can gather
In
from
fact,
some of the other memes.
your avatar would be very scared of that potion.
Right. And then, is it my last meme now?
Yep.
Okay,
Dad,
so
can I go play outside?
No.
Why?
Last time you got in a stranger's van.
He had a Reese's cup.
So what?
So what? You know I love peanut butter.
You can play in your room.
But I want to play outside.
If I let you go outside and a stranger pulls up, will you promise me you won't get in his van?
In this scenario, does the stranger have a Reese's cup?
Yes.
You won't get in the van.
You're staying inside.
Please, I want to roller skate.
No, I can't trust you.
Fine, I won't get in the van.
Even if he has a Reese's cup.
Shit, I still have the Reese's cup.
And that's why you'll stay inside.
Okay, I can do it. I promise. I won't get in the van.
Even if he has a Reese's cup.
Even if he has a Reese's
The
cup.
king side.
Can I keep my head in?
Just go upstairs.
What did I say?
You're not allowed to talk to strangers.
Can I just get in and then not talk to him?
You're staying inside.
I promise I won't get in the van.
Okay, let's role play.
Okay.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, stranger.
Hey, you want to get in my van?
I'm not supposed to get in your van.
I have a Reese's cup.
I don't care. I don't want the Reese's cup.
I have 2 Reese's.
Okay. I still don't want to get in.
And a Kit Kat.
A Kit Kat.
And a Snickers.
And a Snickers? Tell my dad. I don't want to get it.
That is surprisingly well done. I like it. Oh.
Yep.
yes.
Oh.
It's like, don't tell my dad I'm getting in the van.
Yeah, and
Oh my
it is
God.
your dad. And it is. Oh, God.
It's really well done. I'm not sure
Right.
whether that beats Magic Art Flopcast, but
Oh, I don't know. It's hard to tell.
but it really well done.
That is it for this week. Thank you very much for watching / listening. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai!
Bye.
I already ran out. I mean, it's rare, but it does happen.